Hello friends, I welcome you all to my YouTube channel SS Hub for Fundas and Concepts. Our today's topic is motion and time. In class 6, you learnt about different types of motions. You learnt that a motion could be along a straight line, it could be circular or periodic. Some of the examples of motion are soldiers in a march past, bullock cart moving on a straight road, hands of an athlete in a race, pedal of a bicycle in motion, motion of the earth around the sun, motion of a swing, motion of a pendulum, etc. It is common experience that the motion of some objects is slow while that of some others is fast. We know that some vehicles move faster than others. Even the same vehicle may move faster or slower at different times. If vehicles are moving on a road in the same direction, we can easily tell which one of them is moving faster than the other. Motion and time can be explained through speed and time. Let us learn about speed and time in this chapter. You are probably familiar with the word speed. The most convenient way to find out which of the two or more objects is moving faster is to compare the distances moved by them in a unit time. Thus, if we know the distance covered by two buses in 1 hour, we can tell which one is slower. We call the distance covered by an object in a unit time as the speed of the object. When we say that a car is moving with a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, it implies that it will cover a distance of 50 kilometers in 1 hour. However, a car seldom moves with a constant speed for 1 hour. In fact, it starts moving slowly and then picks up the speed. So, when we say that the car has a speed of 50 kilometers per hour, we usually consider only the total distance covered by it in 1 hour. We do not bother whether the car has been moving with a constant speed or not during that hour. The speed calculated here is actually the average speed of the car. Hence, speed is the total distance covered per time taken to cover the distance. We can determine the speed of a given object once we can measure the time taken by it to cover a certain distance. Measurement of time. If you did not have a clock, how would you decide what time of day it is? Have you ever wondered how our elders could tell the approximate time of the day by just looking at the shadows? How do we measure time interval of a month, a year? Our ancestors noticed that many times events in nature repeat themselves after definite intervals of time. For example, they found that the sun is every day rising in the morning. The time between one sunrise and the next was called a day. Similarly, a month was measured from one new moon to the next. A year was fixed as the time taken by the earth to complete one revolution of the sun. Often, we need to measure intervals of time which are much shorter than a day. Clocks or watches are perhaps the most common time measuring devices. Have you ever wondered how clocks and watches measure time? The working of clocks is rather complex, but all of them make use of some periodic motion. One of the most well-known periodic motions is that of a simple pendulum. A simple pendulum consists of a small metallic ball or a piece of stone suspended from a rigid stand by a thread. The metallic ball is called the bob of the pendulum. When the bob of the pendulum is released, after taking it slightly to one side, it begins to move to and fro from there. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is an example of a periodic or an oscillatory motion. The pendulum is said to have completed one oscillation when its bob, starting from its mean position, moves to another position and returns back to its mean position. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. Units of time and speed. The basic unit of time is a second. Its symbol is S. Larger units of time are minutes and hours. We all know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. What would be the basic unit of speed? Since the speed is distance per time, the basic unit of speed is meters per second. Of course, it could also be expressed in other units such as meters per minute or kilometers per hour. Different units of time are used depending on the need. For example, it is convenient to express your age in years rather than in days or hours. Similarly, it will not be wise to express in years the time taken by you to cover the distance between your home and your school. Many time measuring devices were used in different parts of the world before the pendulum clocks became popular. Sundials, water clocks, and sand clocks are some examples of such devices. Different designs of these devices were developed in different parts of the world. Measuring speed. Having learned how to measure time and distance, you can calculate the speed of an object. Meters can be seen on the dashboards of cars, buses, and other vehicles. Note that one of the meters has kilometer per hour written at one corner. This is called a speedometer. It records the speed directly in kilometer per hour. There is another meter that measures the distance moved by the vehicle. This meter is called as an odometer. Distance time graph. If an object moves along a straight line, the distance traveled can be represented by a distance time graph. In a distance time graph, the gradient of the line is equal to the speed of the object. The greater the gradient, the faster the object is moving. Let us summarize what we have learnt from this chapter. The distance moved by an object in a unit time is called its speed. Speed of objects help us to decide which one is moving faster than the other. The speed of an object is the distance traveled divided by the time taken to cover that distance. Its basic unit is meter per second. Periodic events are used for the measurement of time. Periodic motion of a pendulum has been used to make clocks and watches. Motion of objects can be presented in pictorial form by their distance time graphs. The distance time graph for the motion of an object moving with a constant speed is a straight line. I thank you all for your listening. Please stay tuned to this channel for more updates. Cheers.